know, with Christmas just around the corner and all the families slumped down in the living room after lunch, what you really need is a new board game to rally the troops. Oh, I've got just what you need. It's set in Haverhill and it's called Roadblock. And the aim of the game is to stop things happening which the public overwhelmingly want to happen. Each player represents one aspiration of the public, and the object of all the other players is to stop him achieving it. Players pick up positivity cards as they go along to build up the momentum for their aspiration. These might be in the form of a petition, a survey, a government report, the injection of cash, an engineering feasibility study, or the election of a charismatic and able local councillor. There aren't many of these in the pack. Also in the pack are some negativity cards. Now, these might be the axing of some cash, a legal challenge, or something as simple as an unrepresentative survey carried out online only. There are some simple rules to the game. Firstly, although it needs numerous little positivity cards in succession to make any progress towards the aspiration, it only needs one little negativity card to halt it in its tracks with a roadblock. You get the idea. Well, when it comes to improvements to the town, there is a game with unwritten rules which seems to come about whoever is in charge. For instance, if a halt has been caused by a single negative event, representatives of the big decision-making bodies get behind it, justifying what has caused it and their new position of not spending any time or money on unblocking it. Also, if anyone still tries to promote the scheme or push ahead with it anyway, they're seen as either balmy or subversive and opposed on principle. And finally, a myth is rapidly created that progress is now impossible without shelling out money on a scale which any sane person can see cannot be justified in relation to little old Haverhill, which is backed up by the view from the rest of the borough, the county, or even the country. This game operates all the time. Just ask the railway renewal campaigners, or even Gertines for that matter. But this week we saw a prime example of it in action at Haverhill Area Working Party, or HORP as we call it. A year ago, pedestrianisation was going ahead after all sorts of trials, tribulations, false starts and so on, because a series of positive moves had emerged. Then came the County Council's survey, which wasn't. The 106 people, of whom only 30 or so were in favour. Anyone could see that was not representative. This was not just a blip. It was the one negative, the roadblock, which is all that is needed to bring everything crashing down. Councillor McGregor, the county traffic supremo from Ipswich, who said a year ago they would push this through a public inquiry if necessary, is now saying there will be no public inquiry. And all his county and borough colleagues have done a volte-face. He has decreed that pedestrianisation should not be considered at the present time. No one seems to know what gives him the right to do this alone and unilaterally, but his colleagues are rallying round and implementing rules 3 and 4 as hard as they can go. Does anyone have a get-out-of-jail-free card or know how to throw a double 6 at will? Merry Christmas.